everyone, my name is Alessia, and this is kind of cringy. I got this idea to do this because I took a break from TikTok like 2 weeks ago, and ever since, like, I've been on YouTube, and there's been like so many videos I've been watching, and they have been so life-changing, and like literally my whole perspective on everything has changed. So I'm like, let me make my own, and I don't know, my friends drew my advice. I don't know if anyone else would, but in the case that I would help somebody with like my perspective or anything, I'm just gonna like put it out there, and if it helps someone or like someone resonates with it, that's like all that really matters. I'm gonna try to keep it short since like I have not put any thought into it. I'll be honest, like I got this idea like a day ago, and I slept on it, woke up, still had the idea, and then this whole time, like when I was working today, I was like, I just want to make a YouTube video, and then I've been doing my homework ever since. Like I had dinner, I got home, had dinner, started doing my homework, and I'm not done. I still have a good hour minimum, but I felt like I had to do this anyway. Okay, so um, first, I'm just giving out my opinion and what I've been through and things that have helped me with my experiences. Obviously, everyone has had different experiences, so like take everything I say with a grain of salt. And I'm kind of opinionated, and I know what I believe, and I know how I've dealt with situations. They have helped me overcome the challenges that I faced. But just because it's worked for me, it doesn't mean it'll work for someone else. So yeah, okay. So I don't even know where to start, because these past like few months have been so revolutionary. Ooh, like I'm a completely different person. But I think I'm going to just talk about random things that come up to my mind, and some videos that I've watched on YouTube that have really like stuck out to me, and like I still think about, even though it's been like weeks, not weeks, like a week or two, and I still think about it because like it's genuinely so good. So recently, not so recently, but recently, I kind of went through like a little bit of a heartbreak, and that's okay. Things happen, and I'm very grateful I got to experience it, and I'm grateful I got to experience all the love and stuff. So I'm like very grateful for it. But yeah, so I was going through a heartbreak, whatever. I still kind of am, but I have been through it all, and I'm grateful. But this video I watched not too long ago, and it changed my perspective completely. So the video was named something like "Don't Let Go." I was like just watching a video of how to let go, and it said, "Don't just let go of them, let go of who you were with them." And that has changed my mind completely. So I think there's oftentimes, since I think about it quite often, not too much anymore, I try to refrain, but I still do. Like it's a part of me now, and that's okay. But I remember thinking how I need to get over it, and I remember thinking how I should, and all these things and all these reasons, because there's reasons. If you're in a position where you have to get over someone, that's the reason. You know what I mean? So I was sitting there and I was like, well, I'm walking. I think a lot when I walk. And I walk from two school places, whatever. So whatever. And I remember thinking like I didn't want to let go. I didn't want to let go of who I was as a person with them, because I thought I was so happy and I was this like version of myself. And I didn't want to let her go. And I didn't want to let go of the idea I've had of the person too, because I truly thought he was like the best thing for me. And you know what I mean? I just did not want to let go. And I didn't want to let go of most importantly, myself. And anytime I would have conclusion, or I would have a thought that would help me get past it and move on, I would be like, no, like I can't think like that. Because like I had this mindset that if I thought like that, it'd be over, we would never find each other again, whatever, right? And maybe that's okay. You know what I mean? I have in my notes app, I have like all these quotes that like I resonate with like a lot deeply. So I think one of them was, let me remember. I think one of them was something about maybe the happy ending is you moving on. And after hearing that, I was like, whoa, maybe you're right. Like you sit there and after a heartbreak, that they're on your mind, like they're on your mind, and that's okay. They're going to be, but you spend so much time thinking about how things could have went differently, how they could have changed, what you could have done better, what they could have done better. And you spend so much time and you're not letting go, you're holding on to that idea. But when you realize you have to let it go, and a mistake that I made, which it's okay, that's okay. The mistake that I made was I let go of the idea of me and this individual being together in the present. I understood because of our circumstances, we were not going to be together in the present. And I knew, and that was okay. I understood that. But I didn't let go of the idea of us being together in the future. So I would always imagine, I would go through these scenarios oh, me and this person are going to be together. Not right now, but in the future. Oh, maybe I'll move back and I'll see him again and I'll be together in the future. And although that's beautiful, I think if that were to happen, I would be the happiest person you'd ever meet. You know what I mean? But counting on that and imagining that or playing into the idea of that does not help you move on. And the thing is, we kind of ended, I'm gonna give actual timelines, September. And I thought I got over it. It was October. Ways I got over it, I will go into, but so hopefully nobody does the same mistake I did, because it was not good. But so right now, currently, it's almost December. It's November 23rd or 5th, 3rd or 4th, I think, right? So yeah, and where was I going with that? I don't know. But wow, yeah. Anyway, a week ago, I finally let go of the idea. I understood that I had to let go of the idea of us even in the future, because I wasn't moving forward. I wasn't actually letting go, because I just kept imagining the future, seeing each other again, talking again, and that's not healthy. You know what I mean? You can't let go, you can't get over someone if you're still attached, if you still haven't let go of them. And that's so hard, you know what I mean? But you have to. This is, you just have to, and that's okay. If something's really truly meant to be in your life, it will stay, honestly. It will stay, and if it doesn't, it'll come back when the time is right. There's a reason why things happen the way they did, or a reason why it ended, I truly believe, at least. Or honestly, maybe it's false. Maybe I'm lying to myself, but it does make me feel better. So that's all that really matters. Because sometimes you just have to think of all these things kind of to give yourself peace. Because the most important thing in life is to just be happy and peaceful. And you can't holding on and building resentment or coming up with all these ideas of how things could have been different, what you could have done, what they could have done. You don't know. You're not living in the present. You're not allowing better things to come to you, and you're just making yourself all worked up over nothing, of something you can't even count for. You know what I mean? And something that made me really grateful that we did actually end was thinking about how hard it would have been if we didn't. If we didn't end this way, any other way would have completely shattered me. So I'm glad that it ended due to unwillingness from him rather than us, our circumstance, because our circumstance was hard, and that was hard. And if it would have ended with us just unable to, and he would have put in all this energy and it was just impossible, it would have broke me, because I would have known that he truly wanted it. But the fact he just didn't care enough to even try or communicate or all these things, it brings me the peace of mind to move on and to understand that he's not meant for me. Because I truly believe that if somebody is meant for me, they won't let me go. And that's okay. I don't exactly know how he feels, because we haven't communicated about this. But that's that for this. And now I'm going back to how to deal with a breakup and what not to do. I'll first talk about what not to do, aka exactly what I did. So right after we ended, I really was I was angry. I was so angry. And I thought I got over it a lot quicker than I truly did. And after my distraction like was gone, I understood that it never left, and that's okay too. So after we ended, even though we were never truly a thing, and that sounds really delusional, but I've never felt this way for anyone, and I truly thought what me and him had was real, and I'm not sure if it is, and that's okay, you know, like I think that in different stages of life, like right now I'm still very young, I still have not experienced too many people. I have Life has just begun for me, you know? So this is the biggest thing I've experienced. But I believe after a few years, maybe months, maybe weeks, I don't know when I'll meet someone new, um, I think I will experience something much bigger than that. But for right now, this is one of the like biggest, most kind of overwhelming feelings that I've had for someone. So this is why I think I'm like talking about it like this. But yeah, because I truly thought, like, I don't know, I truly thought me and him could be something. And that's okay. Some things just don't work out like that. So anyway, so we ended, and I wasn't trying to get a distraction, but I feel like for some reason this is when you get put to the test. Like, will you fall for the distraction? Will you let it distract you, right? So whatever. So this guy kind of like, we started texting a little bit, but more as like friends. But it was like I felt like I knew there was a little bit of a vibe, and I didn't fully know how to deal with it because a part of me understood that I didn't want to distract myself or use it as like kind of use him to get over someone else, right? And that was a background thought, but I never fully let the thought like sit with me, so I just still went for it, right? So it also all happened very abruptly. So me and this guy, we kind of got like a little bit close, whatever. We started hanging out all the time, like doing things, whatever, right? And I remember it was a little bit of a distraction, but I remember really being sad a lot of the time about it because I would always be reminded of the guy from the past, so from the summertime, right? And I remember thinking like, this guy didn't match, or this guy wasn't this. So I was always kind of trying to not in a way change him, but I was always like, I need communication, I need this. And to friends, I would like always voice how he wasn't what I was used to. I was accepting like this treatment from this new guy that completely I didn't understand because I haven't had many experiences with significant others, and I tend to focus and stay to myself. So having such a difference between somebody who I met in the summer who treated me so nicely, who's very open, who's very, yeah, just open how he felt about me, and truly made me feel like loved and appreciated, to somebody who didn't, it was like so weird, and I was like, whoa, okay. And that's okay, right? But I remember getting really worked up and sad over it, whatever, until one day I looked at the situation, I took a step back, and I realized I don't even like this guy. I don't even like anything about him. You know what I mean? And that's kind of hard to, honestly, it's hard to be able to accept because you're putting in all this energy for some reason and you care so much. But when you take a step back and you're like, wait, this person who isn't putting in the effort, who isn't trying, who doesn't take me as anything, who doesn't value me, you take a step back, you're like, wait, you're not the one for me. Why am I wasting my time? Why am I spending my energy, which I could be devoting into something greater? You know what I mean? So I say, never use anyone, or that wasn't my intention, but never ever even like, I think it's important to get a feel for your surroundings and understand people around, since an experience you had with someone could be, you could have a completely different experience with someone else. I went from having a super positive experience to a very negative, but it could have been the other way around. You know what I mean? You shouldn't just stick to what's familiar, and you shouldn't think whatever you've had is all there is. If you've had a negative experience, that doesn't mean everyone around you is negative, and it doesn't mean everyone's going to treat you that poorly. And if you've had a good experience, I hope that other people will treat you well, but that doesn't mean they will, you know? So you have to understand that there's so many different people out there, and I think we get so stuck on wanting someone to love us and wanting someone to accept us that we forget that, hey, I don't know if I even like you. You know what I mean? And that's okay. I think with me, that helped me so much because I'm like, wait, like I don't even like you. There's nothing, you're not, you're not the one for me, you know? And that's okay. And right after that, I like ended those things with him because I understood that he wasn't the person that I needed because I feel like I have a lot of love to give, and I sometimes I can't fully give it when I know that somebody isn't committed or can't give me a similar love back. This isn't necessarily that I give out love to receive it. That's not it. But I often felt not comfortable enough to give out too much love and too much of myself. And I spent a lot of my life like that when I was younger. So I didn't want to do that any longer. So I was like, you know what? No, I'm not gonna spend my time or energy or anything really on somebody who doesn't think I'm worthy of theirs. And that's okay. Um, Another thing is, I think that it's very easy to run away from our feelings and to use distractions, anything really. And that's okay, but we have to understand that you have to face them because if you don't face them now, they will come back and they will bite you. Like me using that guy as a distraction almost in a sense. The second it ended, even as it was beginning to end, I just kept thinking of that other guy. I kept thinking of how I felt. I was getting so overwhelming and I didn't know what to do. Like, I didn't understand. And that's okay. You know, that's okay. So, I think it's important to figure out your feelings and have everything that's holding you back or is weighing you down to have it figured out. I don't think there's a time, I don't think someone should wait to have everything figured out before they go try something new or go on a date or go try to experience something else. I don't think so, but I think it's important to have most things well understood about yourself, you know, if that makes sense. So yeah, so right after, that's my story time. Right after I ended it with the guy that I realized I didn't even like, I texted the guy from the summer, not in a way it might sound, but I texted him asking about what happened and if there was any way I could improve, or because it was weighing down so hard on me. And I will be honest, me texting him that and me sending him a long, almost like letter thing was so, I don't know if I would use degrading, but I think that if I had a better sense of myself back then, I wouldn't have done it. You know what I mean? I don't think I needed the closure. You know, if I had a better relationship with myself and I understood myself better and was more secure, I wouldn't have needed the closure. And now I don't think I would need it. But back then, that is what I needed. And sometimes that sucks that you need something that someone else has to give you. But I texted him and we had a conversation about it. And I understood the situation so much better, which honestly, I think that if you are somebody who abruptly like broke up with someone or like started getting distant or did like a 180, I think it's very important if you can to communicate why you did so it doesn't really leave the person wondering, because especially people who are like in their head, it can get a lot and other past insecurities can project onto it, and that doesn't help anyone to grow as a person. So I think it's important. So yeah, so after talking, it was great. After he told me all the reasons, I was grateful that I got to understand what truly happened, and I could no longer have the what ifs. I'm very grateful that he did actually provide me with all that information, and he was very open since I think he's a great person. He's a very kind person. So I'm very grateful he did that. But not everyone's gonna have that. Not everyone is willing to give that closure. Not everyone has the choice to get that closure. So I think it's important to understand that if a person it lets you walk away and they don't care enough to have you in your life and they don't fight for you, they're not the one for you. And that's so hard to think about. Like, in a way, it makes you feel small and little and really dumb, honestly. Like, not dumb, but it makes you feel unimportant, undervalued. And, you know, but having the self-respect to understand that and to understand that if they truly cared, they would have never let you walk away. That's all you need. That's all the closure you will ever need. And after I realized that, I was like, okay, you know? And I know I want to be with someone who would never let me walk away. And I don't know why he let me walk away, because at the very end, I remember, the whole time really, but at the very end, I remember asking, what's wrong? And I remember trying so hard. And I think that helped me a lot too. I think it's important, what a lot of people don't do these days, actually. I don't know if they did it back in the day, but they don't try. The second somebody pulls away, they pull away too. And I think if you know you really want something, you really want someone, although you might look stupid, you might sound stupid, and if you do, that's bad, that sucks. But at the end of the day, me looking stupid, me putting in all this effort, is what helped me move on, because I understood I gave him my all. There wasn't a word that I left unsaid. He knows how I felt. He knows how I feel. So, him even knowing all that, if he doesn't care, then that's okay. I will find someone. Well, actually, I won't find someone. We'll find each other. You'll find me. You know, somebody who will actually care when I care. And that's okay. I think life is so short and it goes by so fast. And I'm starting to understand that now. This whole year has been flying so fast. And I feel like I changed every day. Every day I'm a new person. But yeah, I think that's really all the closure you will ever need. And you have to let go of that. You have to let go of the idea of who that person was. And maybe that person is really great. And maybe you guys are meant to be together. And if that's the case, you will find each other again. But I think it's important to let go and set yourself free, because holding on to something will never result to anything good. And I think I was walking around with this really like heavy burden almost, and it did really drag me down, honestly. Like, I wasn't feeling good about it. And after literally a week ago, I let go and I see everything so differently, and I see everything in such a positive mindset, and I'll be forever so grateful that I could do that. And although sometimes I think back and I wish things went differently and I wish things worked out, but I also understand that rejection is protection and also redirection. So I don't know, I'm really grateful how things did end, because when you think about it, they could have ended a lot differently, with not my case only, but with anyone. If you think about how things ended with whoever it may be, that's the most likely the best case scenario. And by redirection, I mean, I think that if something's really meant to be in your life, it will be. And if it's not, it won't. And you can't love someone into loving you, and you can't force someone into choosing you. So if someone isn't choosing you, someone doesn't care, that sucks. And I'm sorry, but then that means you have to put that energy and the love that you have for that person or whoever else into yourself, because that's the most important. If you aren't okay with yourself, or if you don't love yourself, or if you don't accept yourself, nobody will around you too. You know, like, I think your energy projects, and when you don't feel good about yourself, people won't either, you know. And I think after I worked on myself, I understood that I'm so much more than what anyone thinks of me, or the love that somebody couldn't give me, because I could give myself all that love. So yeah, I'm gonna make another one. I don't know what the whole point of this was, if I'm quite frank. Don't know if I'm gonna post this, but yeah, there you go. Peace out.